Open your Part A question-answer book at page 3. Part A is about to begin. Part A. Situation. The Chow family is on holiday in London. You are going to listen to 4 recordings of the Chow family planning their holiday activities and visiting a museum. In Part A, you will have a total of 4 tasks to do. Follow the instructions in the question-answer book and in the recording to complete the tasks. You will find all the information you need in the question-answer book and the recording. You now have 2 minutes to familiarize yourself with tasks 1 to 4. Task 1. The Chow family is searching on the internet and talking about things to do. Listen to their discussion and write the information in the spaces below. The first one has been provided as an example. You now have 30 seconds to study the task. At the end of the task, you will have 1 minute to tidy up your answers.
So then, let's plan what to do today. Any ideas?
Let's just go for a walk around the centre of London.
But Dad, the centre of London is really big and it's too much walking. Let's do something else.
Well, how about going to a museum? London has lots of excellent museums according to this website your dad is looking at. Here are some exhibitions.
But museums are boring. Can't we do something more fun?
Not all museums are boring. Have a look at this one. It's the Video Games Museum.
Oh, yes, that sounds interesting. What kind of video games do they have?
Let's have a look. Oh, they have all kinds of video games, including a very early video game from 1958 called Tennis for Two.
Tennis for what?
Tennis for Two.
Oh, yes, and there's another one called Ping Pong from 1972. I remember that one. It's like table tennis.
When is it from again?
1972.
That's so old. Are there any new games?
How about this one? Teen Queen 4.
That's from this year, 2016. And all my friends have Teen Queen 4.
Is there a Teen Queen 5?
No, Dad. Don't be silly. That's for next year.
Shall we go there then?
Sounds good to me.
Let's have a look at the opening times. Oh, no. It's closed on Wednesdays, so we can't go today.
Oh.
Well, it's not the end of the world. We can go another day. Any other ideas?
What about this one? The Railway Museum.
The Railway Museum?
Yes.
That sounds boring.
Maybe not. It's in an old station, and you get to ride on an old train.
Actually, that does sound boring.
Boring.
No, it's not boring. And it's quite cheap, too. It's only 250 Hong Kong dollars per person.
$250 per person. That's expensive.
Yes, too expensive. Plus it's boring.
Okay, then. I guess you're right. Let's look for something else.
How about this one? The Museum of Youth Culture.
Youth culture? That sounds all right.
There's an exhibition about toy ponies, one of your favorite toys.
You've still got your collection of toy ponies, haven't you? The My Pony collection.
Yes, but I don't play with my ponies very much now. I'm a bit too old.
But you still like them.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Do you want to go see the exhibition of toy ponies?
Yes, okay.
There's also an exhibition about boy bands.
I don't like boy bands anymore.
I thought you did.
Nope.
How about this? There's an exhibition on children's fashion.
That sounds boring.
No, but have a look at some of these pictures of the clothes. Don't they look interesting?
Oh, yeah. Those clothes look pretty cool. I'd like to see that exhibition.
Finally, we've got a museum. Let's have a look at where the museum is. Oh, no. It's quite far away.
Let's have a look. Oh, but it's open late today.
Okay, so we can go there later.
How much is it? Oh, look, it's free for school children on Wednesdays. That means it's free for Angela today.
Brilliant! And one more thing.
What?
It's interesting for all of us.
That is the end of Task 1. You now have 1 minute to tidy up your answers. Task 2. The Chow family are in the museum. They are talking about what they have just seen. Listen and fill in the missing information in the spaces below. The first one has been provided as an example. You now have 30 seconds to study the task. At the end of the task, you will have 1 minute to tidy up your answers.
So, what did you two see?
We saw an exhibition on teenagers and comics of the world.
Was it interesting?
Oh, yeah, it was brilliant. There are loads of comics just for girls.
Really? I never knew that. I thought all the comics would be for boys.
That's what I thought too. But there are so many for girls, particularly Japanese comics.
Oh, really? What are they like? Are they violent?
Violent? Of course not, Mum. Duh! I said comics for girls, not boys.
So what are they like then?
Well, there are two main kinds of comics for girls. The first kind's fantasy.
What kind of fantasy? Can you give me an example?
Okay, I suppose the most popular kind is a superhero comic.
And what about the other kind?
Well, the other main kind's real life. For example, school life.
You seem to know a lot about comic books.
Oh, yeah, I read them all the time.
I didn't know that. Where do you buy them?
There's a shop I go to in Electric Road.
Electric Road? Why do you go there? Why not the place near our home?
There's a much better choice there.
I'm not sure I like the idea of you buying comics.
Oh, it's not what you think. These are comic books for teenagers. They're not violent at all. They're about problems teenagers have.
Problems teenagers have? Like what?
Arguing with parents. I mean, we're arguing now. That's a problem for me.
Ha ha, very funny.
Look, you two. Let's stop this. What did you see, Linda?
I saw an exhibition on best-selling toys from the past.
Oh, that sounds interesting. What did they have?
Well, one of the things they had was a Cabbage Patch doll. It was really popular in the 1980s.
That doesn't sound very exciting.
But this doll is actually really ugly.
Really? Why would anyone want a doll like that?
But that's the whole point. People bought the doll because it was ugly.
I really can't believe that. How many little girls would want one?
Well, actually, millions of little girls.
Why were they so popular?
Well, I think it's because there were many different designs.
Many different designs?
Yes, and this made them very collectible.
So, ugly but collectible dolls. Do you want one for your birthday, Angela?
Actually, I'd quite like one. I can look after it for a few years, so it increases in price.
That's my girl. Always thinking ahead. What else did you see, Linda?
I saw one other thing that I think you would really like.
Which is?
A space hopper.
A what?
A space hopper. It's like a big rubber ball.
A big rubber ball?
Yes, and you sit on it and jump around.
Wow, jumping around. That sounds kind of fun.
But the best part was the extra things. You know, the other things that kids used to do with space hoppers.
Like what?
Well, you can have a race.
Actually, me and my brother both had one. And as well as having races, it was really good fun having a fight.
You and your brother fighting. That doesn't surprise me.
Actually, this toy's beginning to sound awesome. Can we go back and see it, Mum?
Sure, let's go.
That is the end of task 2. You now have 1 minute to tidy up your answers. Task 3. The Chow family are looking at an exhibition in the museum called Young Inventors. A guide is showing them around this exhibition. Listen and fill in the missing information in the spaces below. The first one has been provided as an example. You now have 30 seconds to study the task. At the end of the task, you will have 1.5 minutes to tidy up your answers.
Hello everyone, my name is Sokari Douglas and I'll be your guide for this section of the museum. Today I'll be showing you the exhibition on young inventors and I hope you enjoy the tour.
It sounds really interesting. Do you think it will inspire you to try some inventions of your own, Angela?
Not likely. I'm no good at science.
But I don't think all the inventions are about science. Let's have a look at them.
So, our first exhibit is the shoe battery charger. This was invented by Juan Domingo from the Philippines, and he was only 14 when he invented it. The inventor walks 5 kilometers to school every day. I know this seems a lot, but in the countryside in the Philippines, many school children have to do the same. Anyway, the inventor thought that this is a lot of wasted energy.
Wow, a 5-kilometer walk to school every day. That's pretty far. Would you like to walk that far to school, Angela?
Not likely. I'm not going to waste all that energy.
Well, actually, according to the inventor, on average, people take 7,000 footsteps a day.
That seems a lot. So how does the shoe work?
Well, there are different stages to the process, and let me show you. Here is the shoe, and inside each shoe are 2 electrical discs. First, the person wearing the shoe steps on the electrical discs every time they take a footstep. Second, each footstep generates pressure on the disc. And third, this pressure is then converted to electricity.
So how do you store the electricity?
You need a battery, and you attach it to the outside of your shoes.
I've got a question.
Yes?
How much electricity do the shoes generate?
That's a good question, actually. At the moment, not so much, but this is the first model. The inventor gave an example of when he played basketball for an hour and a half, he managed to generate 15 minutes of battery power for a mobile phone.
That's not very much.
That's right, but there is one other application that the inventor has suggested. This electricity can be used to power a light, and this doesn't need so much power. Any other questions?
What do you think, Angela?
Well, I wouldn't like to do all the walking, but it certainly is useful. What do you think, Dad?
I think it's great.
I worry that it's not practical, and you won't be able to produce enough electricity. Surely traditional batteries are better.
Okay, let's move on to our next invention. Just over here. Can everybody see? This invention is the smelly alarm clock. The inventor of this is Jean-Paul Moncoeur, and he's from Canada. This 17-year-old invented the device for his father, who is deaf, or hard of hearing, I should say. Jean-Paul invented this to help his father, who couldn't hear the sound of an alarm clock. As a result of this, very often his father was late for work and almost lost his job. Jean-Paul had the brilliant idea of using the sense of smell instead of sound to wake people up.
Sorry to interrupt, but what smell did Jean-Paul find was the most effective to wake people up?
That's a good question, and the answer is peppermint.
Peppermint?
Yes, peppermint.
So, how does the device work then?
Well, first you place some peppermint tablets inside the alarm clock, and then you set the alarm. When the alarm goes off, a fan blows air towards the sleeper.
But does it really work?
Oh, yes. And you know that most people hate getting up early in the morning. Well, the inventor reckons that most people wake up in a good mood.
Really? That sounds good to me.
Sounds too good to be true to me.
And one more thing, apparently you also wake up feeling refreshed.
No, I'm not convinced.
I am. I think it sounds fantastic. What do you think, Angela?
I think I agree with Dad on this one.
That is the end of task 3. You now have 1.5 minutes to tidy up your answers. Task 4. The Chow family are attending a lecture given by David Stott about movie stars that are popular with young people. Listen to the lecture and answer the questions below. Please note, you do not need to answer incomplete sentences. The first one has been provided as an example. You now have 30 seconds to study the task. At the end of the task, you will have 2 minutes to tidy up your answers.
Hello everyone, my name is David Stott and I'm here to talk to you about one American movie star from the 1950s who has perhaps had the biggest influence on young people all over the world. So, who is this movie star? Well, of course, it's James Dean. Even if you don't know his name or have never seen him in a movie, you still might recognize him. How? Well, you might see his image in a work of art, such as a painting or a screen print. He has featured in some of the most famous art of the last century. Apart from art, you might see a photo of him on someone's wall, or in a restaurant, obviously a black and white photo, as it would have been taken in the 1950s. Or you might hear his name in the lyrics to a pop song, which would be something about looking like James Dean, or smoking like James Dean, driving a fast car like James Dean, or just being cool like James Dean. He is one of the most recognizable people of the last century. But why is he so recognizable? I mean, why is James Dean still so famous even today? Well, one of the things that ensured he would be a legend is that he died so young. He died at the age of 24, and so his good looks never faded. The other reason why his fame continues today is that he died tragically in a car crash. This, I think, contributes significantly to his continuing fame. What's even more surprising is that James Dean wasn't one of those actors who made a lot of films. His fame rests on his roles in just 3 movies, and I'm going to talk about those in a moment. Actually, fame did not arrive so easily for James Dean. Before he made these 3 movies, he was involved in acting, but only had small roles, and he had to supplement his income with other jobs, such as a stunt tester on a TV game show called Beat the Clock. And he was actually fired. Why? It's quite ironic, really. In this TV show, contestants had to do stunts inside a certain time limit. One of the typical stunts was like, say, contestants had to pick up and carry an egg across a room in 30 seconds, but they weren't allowed to use their hands. That sort of thing. James Dean's job was as a stunt tester. So he had to test the stunts to see whether they would be possible to do inside the time limit. Actually, he was so good at doing the stunts and so quick that he was fired from the show. As I said earlier, his fame rests on just 3 movies: East of Eden, Rebel Without a Cause, and Giant. It is the second of these movies, Rebel Without a Cause, filmed in 1955, that has been the most influential in popular culture. So, what's so special about Rebel Without a Cause? Well, for the first time ever in the movies, Rebel Without a Cause showed the problems faced by a typical teenager in the 1950s. So, what were these problems that teenagers faced back then? Well, they were pretty similar to those teenagers face nowadays. But as I say, what made it special was that these problems had never been shown in movies before. Before that time, and I know this sounds crazy now, middle-aged adults usually had the leading roles. Young people played roles such as sons and daughters of the main characters. So why were young people even in movies? Well, young people were usually just there to show that the main characters, the adult characters, were happily married and had a happy family. So typically, young people were on the screen for only 5 to 10 minutes in the entire film. And that was it. James Dean and his role in Rebel Without a Cause changed all of that. It was as though Hollywood and the US movie-going public suddenly woke up. This had 3 huge effects on the movie industry. Firstly, a large number of movies about teenagers began to be made. Before this, as I said earlier, movies were always about adults. The second major effect was that this kind of film began to be made in many different countries, so it wasn't just in Hollywood, it was in movie industries all over the world that films about teenagers started to be produced. And thirdly, and perhaps most importantly, young people who had been ignored by the movie industry were targeted as an audience by the movie industry. So young people became the target audience. OK, let's fast forward 40 years to the rise of another movie star, Johnny Depp.
That is the end of Task 4. You now have 2 minutes to complete your answers to Task 4 and to tidy up all your other answers. Part B. Look at page 2 of your data file. Situation. You are Indy Wong. You are a museum assistant for Lara Gao at the Hong Kong Social History Museum. Lara has a few things she wants you to do to help out. You will listen to an interview between Patty Leung and Dr. Jack Jones for the podcast Nosing Around. Before the recording is played, you will have 5 minutes to study the question-answer book and the data file to familiarize yourself with the situation and the tasks. Complete the tasks by following the instructions in the question-answer book and on the recording. You will find all the information you need in the question answer book, the data file, and on the recording. As you listen, you can make notes on page 3 of the data file. You now have 5 minutes to familiarize yourself with the question answer book and the data file. The recording is about to begin. Turn to page 3 of the data file.
Hi listeners, welcome to Nosing Around, Hong Kong's leading weekly podcast for teenagers. On a packed programme this week, we have a report on what it's like to be a die-hard fan of local Hong Kong football, as we invite in members of the supporters clubs of the 10 teams in the Hong Kong Premier League. We have an interview with Dr. Hav, a Singaporean hotel director who combines his day job with being a DJ at nights. But firstly, I'll be interviewing a very different doctor. I have with me today Dr. Jack Jones from the Hong Kong Social History Museum. Dr. Jones, welcome back to Nosing Around. This is the 3rd time I think you've been on the show.
Hello, Patty. Yes, it's great to be back on Nosing Around. It's always a pleasure.
So, maybe we can start with the Social History Museum. I'm sure our listeners will be familiar with what is meant by a museum traditionally, but can you explain to our listeners what a social history museum is?
Well, Patty, that's a good question. A social history museum is a place where visitors can experience what daily life was like for ordinary people in the past.
Okay, so everyday life for ordinary people in the past. When you say ordinary people, do you mean people like me and the listeners? Not, say, kings and queens?
Yes, ordinary people like you and me, not kings and queens. You are not a queen, I'm guessing.
Well, maybe in a past life. So, what sort of things can I see in a social history museum?
Well, you see ordinary items people used in the past. So, rather than seeing ancient pottery and weapons, we can look at old tables and chairs you would find in your grandparents' homes. Things like old telephones, computers.
So, ordinary things then, but old. Would that include old clothes people used to wear?
Yes, exactly.
You see, that would interest me. I really like vintage fashion items, jackets, jewellery, that sort of thing. Now, I've heard your museum is very big. In fact, it's so big that you've even rebuilt a whole farmhouse inside the museum building.
Yes, that's right. The Wang Chung Traditional Farmhouse. It was moved to the museum brick by brick and reconstructed inside the museum last year in 2015. It was a very difficult operation, I can tell you.
And where did it originally come from?
The farmhouse was found at the bottom of a reservoir. You know, a man-made lake.
Wow, you mean the farmhouse was underwater?
Yes, at the bottom of the Wang Chung Reservoir.
Okay, I know Wang Chung Reservoir. I've been hiking up there.
Well, maybe what you didn't know was before the reservoir, there was a village there. Wang Chung Village. And it disappeared underwater in 1990 when they built the reservoir.
Really? No, I didn't know that.
It actually used to be quite a famous village, Wang Chung, for the Wang Chung Pineapple Festival.
Okay, the Pineapple Festival. I think I might have seen old photos of that.
Yes, quite possibly. The Pineapple Festival was a pretty big festival in its day. Farmers would offer pineapples to the god of farming.
Yeah, that's what I remember from the photo. Right, I know what I was going to ask. You'll have to forgive me, but where is the Social History Museum?
It's in South Point, close to the new MTR station.
Well, that's convenient.
Yeah, only 2 minutes from South Point MTR, exit A.
Wow, only 2 minutes walk. Is that on Reed Street, you know, as in R-E-I-D?
Yes, that's right. Get out at exit A and just go straight up Reed Street to the museum.
And I've been told that you are giving a talk on farming in the new territories. Is that next Wednesday, the 13th of April?
Yes, that's right. On April 13th, from 8 to 9 in the evening. Wednesday. The title of the talk, as you just said, is Farming in the New Territories.
Okay, that sounds very interesting. I'd love to know more about farming in the new territories. Wouldn't you, listeners? Remember, if you want to go, don't be late. 8 p.m. start and finish at 9 p.m.
Can I also add that we're having an exhibition on farming in the new territories at the museum? And in the exhibition, we're hoping to display the Changyi Tak plow.
Oh, I actually remember reading about the Changyi Tak plough when I studied history at school. A lot of our listeners will remember it from school as well, I'm sure. Actually, I'd be really interested in seeing it. Maybe you could tell the listeners who don't know what's so special about the Changyi Tak plough.
Well, it's special because it's the only wood and iron plow in the world that...
So hang on. There are no other wood and iron ploughs in the world?
No, Patty. I hadn't quite finished what I was saying. I was about to say that there are, of course, many wood and iron plows in the world, but this is the only one from the 18th century that's not damaged. So that's the amazing thing about the Changyi Tak plow. It's from the 18th century, but is in almost perfect condition.
Okay, well, as I said, I want to go to see it for real. Okay, thank you for coming in and speaking with us today, Dr. Jones, and good luck with your exhibition.
That is the end of the listening component of this paper. You will have 1 hour and 15 minutes to complete the written tasks in either Part B1 or Part B2. An announcement will be made when time is up. Take off your earphones